Good day, everyone. I am Christine May Bisabihon, a B.Ed third-year student at Negros Oriental State University, Shatten Campus. And today, I am going to present the topic Biological Science, General Biology. So what is biology? Biology is everywhere. Biology is not just about defining terms. It is the study of life in all forms and its processes. When we understand biology, we understand ourselves, other living organisms, and the environment. And as future teachers and lab examinees, it is our goals to go beyond memorizations. We need to understand concepts deeply, explain them clearly, and apply them in classroom and real life. But before that, this is our learning objectives for this lesson. Specifically, we will cover the topics basic cell parts and their functions, levels of biological organization, ecosystems and energy flow, biomes and their characteristics, classifications of animals, vertebrates and invertebrates, human organ systems, and lastly, microorganisms and their roles. What is biological science? Biological science or biology is a scientific study of living organisms and their interactions with one another and with their environment. Let's start with the cells, which are considered the basic units of life. What does this mean? This means that all living organisms such as plants or animals and microorganisms are all made up of cells. We have two types of cells, which are the plant cells and animal cells. Plant cells are designed to provide for their own food and support, while the animal cells are designed for flexibility and movement. Now, let's go through the major functions of the cells. The first one is the cell membrane, who controls who enters and leaves the cells. Next is the cytoplasm. It is where most of the cell activities happen. Next is the nucleus. It acts as the leader of the cells, directing all cell functions. And the fourth one is, of course, the mitochondria. So we are all familiar about that. The mitochondria releases energy from food. That's why it is called as the powerhouse of the cell. And lastly, in plant cell, the chloroplast allows photosynthesis, and the cell wall provides support and protection. So I have here a question. Just pause the video and answer in the comment section below. Living things is organized in levels, from simple to complex. This helps us understand how life is structured and how everything is connected together and to their environment. Now, in order for you to understand this topic, I will read you a story about the biological organization. Okay, so listen carefully because I will read the story. Now, the cell is the basic unit of life, right? It is the smallest structure that can perform all life processes, such as obtaining energy and reproducing. When cell works together to perform specific functions, they form our organism, which is a single individual like a plant, animal, or a human being. When organisms of the same species live together in one area, they form a population. Members of a population interact, reproduce, and compete for resources. Different populations living and interacting in the same area form a community, which includes plants, animals, and microorganisms. When non-living components such as water, soil, air and sunlight are included, the community becomes an ecosystem. An ecosystem shows how living and non-living factors depend on each other for survival, and all ecosystems on Earth together form the biosphere, which represents all life and environment on our planet. So, have you listened carefully to my story? Just repeat it, okay? So you can take note what is the levels of biological organization. So again, I have a question and just pause the video and answers in the comment section. In an ecosystem, living things depend for each other, like for energy. And a food chain, it shows how energy passes from one organism to another. So it goes like this. It starts with a producer, like a grass or an algae that produce their own food from a sunlight. Then the energy passes to consumers. So we have three consumers, right? First is the primary consumers, for example, a rabbit that eats a plant. Next is the secondary consumers, let's say a snake that will eat the primary consumers. Next is the tertiary consumers, for example, an eagle, maunay mokaon sa second consumers na snake. And at the end, decomposers like fungi and bacteria break down dead plants and animals, returning nutrients to the soil. So, ilahara dya pong ibalik ang nutrients to the soil. In real ecosystems, a food web shows these connections. This, making the ecosystem more stable. So, there are different animals na mukaon Japan sila mga lain-lain nga kind nga animals. So, that is a food web. An energy pyramid shows how energy decreases at each level. So, producers have the most energy at the bottom, and less energy is available as it moves up to the consumers because energy is lost as heat or used for life processes. So again, I have a question and just pause the video and answer in the comment section. Biomes are large regions that have similar environmental conditions and support specific types of animals and plants. So I have here an example, the aquatic biomes such as the marines, freshwater, estuaries. So that is an aquatic biomes. So it also has several factors that can affect the biomes. For this example, so these factors explain why biomes differ from one another. So they differ from one another. And the living organisms there that nanipuyo na dito, they especially adapted to their environment. Okay? So that is biomes. Animals are classified based on their body structure and evolutionary traits. The vertebrates have backbone and internal skeleton, okay? For example, the frogs, the reptiles, and the mammals. In contrast to that, the invertebrates doesn't have any backbone. So, example is the worm, the insects, and spiders, and also snails. So by classifying the animals, we understand their body structures, adaptation, and how they evolved over time. So I have here a question. Again, pause the video and answer in the comment section. The human body is made up of organ systems that work together to maintain life. Now, as you see, I provided a lot of different systems. Now, in order for you to grasp this information, I will just say some keywords and just take notes, okay? Again, I will just say keywords for each system and take notes for each one. So let's start with the skeletal system. Skeletal system supports the body and protect organs. Muscular system allows movement. Digestive system breaks down food into nutrients. Respiratory system facilitates breathing. Circulatory system transport nutrients, oxygen, and waste. Nervous system control responses and actions. Endocrine system regulates processes through hormones. Immune system protects against disease. Reproductive system enables reproduction. So have you take note all of that? So always remember the keywords for each organ system, okay? Microorganisms are tiny living things that we can only see under a microscope. So they are small or very tiny. Yet their impact is so enormous in our world, right? So we have bacteria, virus, fungi, and critics. So they can be useful and harmful to us and to our environment. And the learning about them can make us appreciate the microscopic world around us and to prevent diseases and use or do proper hygiene when we learn about the microorganism. Now, let's put what we learned into a classroom situations. Teaching science to students can be fun if we use an activity that is creative and engaging. For example, if you teach cells, you can let them play a clay, then them, let them mold the clay into a cell so that they can imagine and visualize what does a cell look like, and you can provide flow charts or diagrams to show the levels of organizations, and you can let them like pagasunin mo sila and to observe the plants, the environments, and yeah. So there are more fun and interesting activities, right, that you can do. If you have an idea, you can comment it here on the comment section. Okay, so comment na. So also, I have a question. So for aspiring teacher, I have a question. How can you apply biology in your future teaching classroom? Again, how can you apply biology in your future teaching classroom? To wrap up, the subject biology needs also understanding and critical thinking, not just memorization. So, study tips for you to prepare for let exam, for teaching, and for the students. So, focus on the meaning on each concept. Don't just memorize them, okay? Then connect the lessons into real life. Like observe your environment, the plants, the animals, and of course, your own body. So that's all. I wish you all the best and thank you for watching this presentation about biological science and general biology. Thank you for watching. Stay curious, stay safe, and God bless. Thank